I got ready to break my fast after more than 20 hours of fasting. I eat once a day, fast more than 20 hours per day. I consume less than 20 grams of sugar per day, close to 0 grams. Less than 8, actually. So unfortunately, it's rare for many Christian men to be disciplined. The average Christian man and man in general is like a little boy, undisciplined, weak. The average Christian is conformed to this world. They watch porn, get filthy pervert, masturbate to on a weekly basis. The average Christian is a sugar addict, which is a drug. They're a drug addict, a junkie, they're addicted to sugar. It's a very toxic, highly addictive drug as far as I'm concerned. Eat several times a day. Me, I fast 20 plus hours. Eat once a day. All med fasting. When I do eat, I don't really eat for pleasure. I eat a low sugar diet. Less than 10 grams of sugar per day, as opposed to the 88 plus grams the average American consumes according to statistics. I'm a persecuted Christian, told individual. The Bible Church and other zealot churches, deep state controlled puppet pastors. The Bible Church is one of these churches that are the deep state controlled zealot church have targeted for the King's Talking problem, not the CBS. I see a lot of envy in the people that target me. They don't like that I have more utility, that I'm a real leader, and I'm more valuable to the body of Christ than they've been. They never told about the Cath concentration Baltons protocol. They never taught you ways to, on top of that, never taught you ways to deal with anxiety, improve. I can teach people how to improve, how to help any mental or physical health problem. There's a lot of people are suffering from these things. There's other sellouts. Stephen Andrews is a sellout. Deep State, Shell sellout. David Persons, Andy Woods, Rafi Gall, Mark Baker, to the Bible Church, so on and so forth. I'm already telling you the most online tears are fakes, and the crazy talk is them away. I shared a post recently where the guy was parroting what I've been saying for years pretty much, but I still he made a short video. Pulled out what I've been saying for years. What King Sock is this. Covert entry. This and that. So also the Vice's hit piece. And I've talked about that for years, how the Vice's documentary on Toby Mills is a hit piece system propaganda designed to cover up King Stock and discreditation via crazy talk. So I'm a realty, I speak the truth about King Stalking. Most online tears are called fakes. And a common tactic of fake tears is the crazy talk about the targeting, mind control technology, remote modern V2K machines, electronic directed engine weapons, favorite talking points of fake tears. Yeah, so I've been doing OMAD fasting for at least 5 years now. Eat once a day. When I do eat, I like to eat a low to moderate amount of carbohydrates, low carb, high fat, high healthy fat, high protein. My OMAD meals are tripartite typically, which means that OMAD meal prep is tripartite. Super shake, gram post with also supplements in the meal itself, the main course. Today's homemade meal. Super shake, grandpa's made also supplements on the main course. I've been fasting more than 20 hours for sure. Quite possibly it's more than 30 hours at this point. Been a very productive day. Well, it's been a productive day. Good night, guys. We just pull up Psalm 23. A lot of times I quote from memory. This time I pulled it up. I'm going to read the whole psalm. Psalm 23, a psalm of David, authorized King James Version. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restored my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Amen. I'd say it's slightly overcooked due to me keeping the food on a heating temperature, on a keep it warm, and it's 3 hours or more. After it was finished, turn on the heat. I left it on Start exercising. I don't know. It only hit a bit too long. It's edible. I've been part of a state persecution program called Gang Stalker Talk Videos. I've been part for more than a decade. It's a really wicked program. The program works to get dogs into psych ward. They succeeded to get me though. Because flying monkeys have been telling me with horrible abuse for a long time. And I started whistleblowing about it. And the same people started went on a Darwin campaign to paint me as mentally ill and crazy. And there's a lot of lies in what they've said about me. Clearly lies. Things they could have proved. And if I look at records of what they were saying about the flying monkeys that I were, so I started whistleblowing about certain people targeted me for the program, and the same people on the Darwin campaign, deny attack versus Confederate, painting me as a crazy, the problem situation. Building out how they've been working to provoke me narcissistic abuse for a long time. And basically, people work for the program, narcissistic. nor fly monkeys. After I started talking about these people told me they won a dog campaign and started paying me as a problem. Like this guy's crazy. I've done this. That's how it works. I've been told with on gang stalking. I've been told with narcissistic abuse. That's happens in gang stalking by flying monkeys. And some of the people doing that here in the city, after I started hitting too close to home, I guess, like not specific, but specific enough. Like, yeah, these people have been told for the poor. The same people going like a Dover campaign, smear campaign to papers, mental and crazy, get them a psych ward. And there's a lot of lies. There's a lot of lies. There's a lot of lies have been used. If I look at the records of what has been said, I can just smell, I can see the malicious intent behind the words. Without the words, somebody trying to paint somebody as crazy. The motivation is to make somebody appear to be crazy. And a lot of errors in details which hurts the credibility. Like, he's been shooting an air rifle. I've never owned an air rifle, see. So if you're like leaving reports to get someone a psych ward, it's kind of bad if you can be proven to have lied, see. And your credibility is it's not good that it's like you're saying bad things about me. And the bad things, a lot of them are proven to not be true, which means you saw yourself as an unreliable witness. Somebody can't be trusted in what they're saying about me. Because like, well, he's been shooting a teddy bear with an air rifle. Any evidence of this? I know I've been shooting with an air gun. I've never owned an air rifle since in this apartment. So, air rifle. Okay, luftgevär. There's a difference between an air rifle and an air gun. See? So I've never even had an air rifle in this apartment, but they've seen me shooting an air rifle at a teddy bear. I don't think I ever had a teddy bear in here. Okay. I don't think I ever shot a teddy bear. I've shot at paper targets and cans and stuff. Also, the doctor that signed the paper, I guess her job might have been to sign the paper down crazy. And this was planned in advance. This was like an organic. They were like, we're working on the push Endgame to get him into psych ward. They were working towards this, planning this for a long time, I can tell. Another lie is like that I've been refusing to receive caregivers. No, they're the ones that didn't show up. See, I haven't been refusing. This is like a lot of lies in there. It's nothing. Before, they were trying to build a case for getting him in a psych ward. See, it's not like this guy's mental health coming. No, the people on TikTok work for the program, I believe, and on YouTube, we leave like comments on my air gun shooting videos. It's like shooting my cross with vigilante, which is more right now. And I believe in comedy Swedish. Maybe one of these people I work with to set me up and entrap me and like get something to use. Can one of these hurt a human? Like on one of my videos about my air guns, like shooting air guns stuff. Can this hurt a human? And they're baiting me to answer, yeah, for sure, it's super dangerous. And try to make it bait me to respond a way that they can use to be like, this guy's dangerous. And I ignored it because I could see what they were doing. Like I could tell, like people are trying to get stuff on me to get me in trouble before I get put in cycle. Like I kan komma som ägare videos. Kan en sån här skada en människa? Okay. And it shows an intent to entrap me. Why? Because if they were truly a person not looking to entrap me and get dirt on me and trying to get me in trouble, they could Google, Kan luftpistoler skada människor? Say. Or Crossman Vigilante, the more of the air gun, and then lethality or something like this. Or how dangerous is an air gun or something like this. See? So it's not like them asking me, directors trying to get in writing me to respond to it in a way that they're hoping they can use to paint me as like, yes, it's super lethal, can kill people, stuff like this. So like, can't one of these hurt a human? Or I just ignore. Another one on TikTok. Because I have a nice one person. I'm a knife guy in my home, which is full of evil. I get TikTok comments over and over again. Why do you always have knives in your pockets in your videos? See? And baiting me to respond so they can get like a screenshot and that this guy said this. Hope I will respond in a way where it's like clumsy så bara så they can rest it. Varför har du alltid knivar på dig i dina video? I think I respond, why don't you show something like this? Okay. If I even respond. It's like, why? It's like, who are you? Mind your business. Watch my videos. Okay. I've talked about it before. I like to have knives. I have knives. Most of the time I use them for opening packages and stuff as a tool. I'm interested in knives. And it could be used as self-defense implement, which is not illegal. It is legal use of force in Sweden, self-defense. Which means in certain situations it will be legal to use a knife to defend yourself. Not like across the board, but like there will be certain situations. About the local law court self-defense use weapons sometimes. So yeah. So the people that were doing this to me have been breaking the law in abusing me for a long time. And once I start like speak out about it, okay, it's like I'm affected by the targeting, and I start like I'm mad about this. I'm even being called in my home or stuff like this. Okay, type of stuff. It's like, oh, now these people, it's like need to go on a Dover smear campaign and paint me as a problem person. To finish up my point, which is relevant to every person, very relevant. Salvation. In my recent life, I talked about how most people get saved young, like before 20, 25. And every year past 20, it becomes statistically less and less likely that a person ends up getting saved. Now, there's nobody alive today where I would say it's impossible to get saved. You can get saved. If somebody's alive, they can get saved. This is the human will. When people get hardened by sin, and that the issue is the human will, basically. So people spend a lot of time rejecting the truth and keep doing that. They can become less sensitive to the truth all the time. So if you're alive, I don't care if you're 96 years old, you can get saved. It's not impossible. The issue is if you're a person that doesn't care about it. That's the issue. So a person that wants to get saved can get saved. But if somebody stays not wanting to get saved, they never get saved. See? Saved from what? Yeah, so I'm a talk of a state persecution book called gang stalking. So gang stalking has state involvement. I live in Sweden since the Swedish state is involved in this. Even in America, the American state is involved. Government. Gang stalking is government involvement, which I call it government gang stalking. So I'm a Christian, talk about state persecution. And I'm not suicidal. If I go to psych or prison and they tell you I killed myself in there, no matter if I die in there, I got taken out. I don't care what to tell you. Or he slipped in the side in an accident or a health problem, this or that problem, or he killed himself or whatever. Okay, I wouldn't. I'm like myself. So I'm a total state persecution. And I got super triggered. Well, I got fairly triggered. Triggered plus, double plus good. I got I opened up my medical journals after this whole psycho ordeal stuff. It's been staying with me. It was a trauma for sure. I'm not a weak, insecure man to overcompensate. Like we men don't cry. I never cry. I cannot be seen crying ever by anybody. That's not okay. Men that are weak and insecure are more likely to fall into like overcompensation behaviors. Where it's like if you're gonna have a car, you need to have the loudest, biggest car. If you're gonna have like a gun, like in America, you need to have a 44 Magnum because that's the biggest. Okay, let's have a big gun. It's like a 22. They're just too small for us. The best gun is the one you can use effectively. There's an argument to make for 22 LR firearms just because it's so controllable. So you can be more accurate and like multiple hits on target quickly. It's easier to accomplish with a low recoil firearm. So point 22 has lower recoil than a 9. Okay, so there's less muscle climb and it's easy to control it. And rapid fire, rapid some auto fire overload. So the best weapon is the one that you can use effectively. See. So anyways, how do I get into that? Overcompensation behaviors. Also, yeah, you don't cry. No, Jesus wept. Okay, so I don't cry all the time. Like maybe once every 6 months or once a year or so. I could cry more frequently if I wanted to. Okay, now maybe once every 6 months, once a year, and I don't like ooh, like wail and weep typically. Okay, it's just kind of like silent, like tears or words. That's important. So notice how it's like, I'm not insecure about masculinity. See, another thing would be like I listen to pop music and Bonnie Tyler and Lovey Dovey songs. See, and since I'm not insecure masculine, I don't have to overcompensate. See, where it's like yeah, I listen to cutesy good vibes music sometimes, and like romance songs sometimes. I enjoy it. So, okay, not like hard death metal, wow, stuff like this. Okay, or gangster rap, all that stuff like this. So yeah, men that are not manly might have to overcompensate. It's like yeah, I only listen to tough music and I have a loud big car. Or do they understand overcompensation behaviors? So Brandon Bitch Boy Holtat, for example, is one of the soft sisters I've seen a lot of overcompensate for him because he doesn't have national masculine. Now, the same deep state that he works for sends them 5 mics to my chat. To be like, Mike, you're gay or something like this. I'm not gay. What is that? It's because I'm really masculine in my energy, appearance, performance, character. So it's like they have to try to do a narcissistic switch or narcissistic evaluation, be like, what's the ultimate opposite of masculine? Say he's gay. See? And it's like, yeah, you walk up the wrong tree. Maybe you should go talk to Brandon Holthouse, a guy who looks like a effeminate little sissy bitch boy that never hit puberty. What a soft fucking sissy. That's not a pattern with a lot of these pastors. I'm a manly man, like David, a warrior. I'm strong, and God has made me strong. Or Samson, or something like this. I'm not saying I'm at their level, but I'm of the same class to some extent. Whereas a lot of Christian pastors are effeminate, physically, psychologically, spiritually, soft, weak. So, anyways, the point. And these pastors target me, the ones that I think about, they target me with narcissistic for the poor. Vad är det på? I'm not told of gang stalking, I'm told of videos. I'm a Christian being told of by the state. Okay. This says state of arm, it's a government program. And it's not just psychological warfare, it's physical warfare too. Poisons are used on targets, things like this. And one of the warfare programs to get a target a cycle. And they did after many years and get me to go to cycle. Now, the truth is I'm not mentally ill. Okay. So I'm a human being though. Which means if provoked intensely, there is a point where I will get mad and lose my temper or get irate, okay? Because I'm a human, not a robot. I have emotions, I have moods. My moods can be changed. I am a person that can have experienced sleep deprivation and the effects thereof. Do you understand? I'm not a robot, I'm a human. So it might sound tough if I said, yeah, I'm so tough that it's like the target doesn't get to me at all. Okay, I just laugh it all off all the time. Okay, no, there's times where it gets me to lose my temper and I get irate. Okay, so and here's the thing too: the people on the other side of this, most of them wouldn't survive. It's like most people wouldn't survive what I'm going through, and I haven't just survived; I thrived. So despite this persecution program. I'm in better shape. Do better than the average man. In better shape. Stronger, faster. And I've healed myself from problems and improved while the time's gone. So that's thriving stuff, not just surviving. So, yeah, I've dealt with this better than a lot of people would. Thanks to God. And some of these flying monkeys have been telling me for the program here in the city. And some of the regulars have told me over and over again. And in general, for many years I've been able to respond to it. The repeated harassment, persecution, and stalking and stuff. Biblically, the biblical response, long suffering. Charity suffered long and is kind. Being kind to the persecution, doing good to those who persecute me. Blessing, not cursing. Not because I'm afraid of not doing that, okay? But because it's a Christian response. Now, that got the point where it's like things have changed. There's a new season. And I'm not as okay. I say I'm not no longer. I cannot guarantee. I can more guarantee that I'm not going to be as soft and gentle and forgiving and allowing and like suffering as much as I have before. Patiently, this got to the point where things have changed. And here's the point. So some of these flying monkeys, being long suffering, kind, be good to them. It's like it only like told me worse and worse. It got to the point where it's like enough is enough, and it's like I'm not like committed. I don't trust. I don't count on myself responding in the same way anymore. Meaning like as consistently gentle and like not reacting to the tone and doing good to those that do bad to me. I think so. This is a point where you might have to put down some boundaries and stand up for yourself. So I've been told of a secret program. People are agents that are recruited toward me. 8K flying monkeys. And one of the goals, of course, is to get the target of psych ward. The former head of Los Angeles back confirmed soon after the government Kings of target is real. They did get me to psych ward. I'm not actually insane. So but basically how they paint me insane is what? The program works to push the target over the edge, me on my target, use myself as an example. They work to push me over the edge, harass me daily, online, offline. There's physical targeting covert, food poisoning, cancer persistence. Daily targeting over and over again. Years. And then if I like react to it and kind of blow up and it's like go like live with violence on rants or something like that. So sometimes I feel rip people's face off. That's how I grab. So the other side, that's an example. It'd be like what led up to that is being abused physically, psychologically for many years. And then over and over again, and then eventually it's like you lose it and kind of end up saying something. For that they provoke the spirit that is spoken otherwise with his lips. Grievous words stir up anger. So that's a big part of talking. Subtle communication, narcissistic always abuse tactics, gaslighting, subtle threats, grievous words intended to stir up your anger, provocations. A target is faced with continual provocations, incessant provocations. And not just provocations, but it's not that, oh, they provoke me. It's like you will be provoked and angered, okay, by it, at least now and then. So after many years of targeting, it will get to a point, especially when it's like you with me, where it happens that I like kind of act out a little bit. Now here's the thing, and this is one of the things that I told them when I was in the psych ward. Okay, I was honest. My strategy was the Christian response. To be as wise as a serpent and as harmless as a dove is what it was down to my response. So I wasn't in the psych ward looking to fight people or something like this. I was be as wise as serpents, as harmless as doves. See, harmless. See? So I'm not looking to harm people. Though. I'm looking to be harmless, to not be harmful, not to be fighting with people, not verbally or physically. Okay, and being wise as a dove. One of the advantages of having retained memorized scripture is when I went to psych ward, they didn't have a Gideonite Bible there. To my knowledge, there's no Bible there. And I didn't bring mine. But I have enough Bible verses so I could read the Bible in my mind in the psych ward and meditate upon it. And in his law does meditate day and night. Blessed is the man that sit under the seat of sinners and stand in his scornful. But in his law does it meditate day and night. Great peace has it. So there's a promise in the Bible that if you meditate, searching God's will, you meditate on his word, you care about it, you can have peace. So at the point, I was in the working to respond adaptively to my circumstances, not mad at that. So I was a mentally sane person inside of an insane zone, which means I didn't have to try to act. Here's another thing that's all about. I mean, if my enemies, and I contemplate this, one of the attacks my tried proved that why he was just acting normal so far. Well, it's like he wasn't crazy, he was just pretending. He was just acting not crazy. That's what I believe. My understanding of psychology. People that are really mentally ill have like acute psychosis. So they're paraschizophrenics. A person who's truly mentally ill to a point where they need to be quote unquote contained against one psych ward, they don't have the ability to fake sanity. Okay, that's what I believe. Like from what I know of psychology, so people that are like really mentally ill, they don't have the ability to be like, oh, okay, can live it down. A person is paraschizophrenia and is believing that people around them are reptilians or something like this, and in a stressed state, that like part and parcel of these like extreme mental illness things is a lack of self-control. inhibition, lack of self-awareness, and they're being delusional. So they are like they are like in the throes of mental illness, and they don't have composure, self-reflection, self-awareness, and self-control. Understand? So it's like a person who's true like having mental illness where they compulsively self-harm, for example, and they like really to the point where it's like they have to be locked in somewhere. The person is like has that mental illness where they just can't stop themselves from doing it. They can't be like, oh, I'm in a cycle now. It's just put the mental illness on pause for 3 days, stuff like this. Understand? Or somebody who has there's a common mental illness, or people that are obsessive water drinkers. They can develop like hydrotoxicity, or whatever it's called. It's actually, of course, it is a quite common mental illness, and there's quite a lot of people end up in cycles like that. So there is a mental illness where people are obsessively compulsive drinking water to a point where they're a danger to their own health. Because you flush out the toxins, you can get water toxicity. Those make the toxin. And it's like if they would like maybe they would want to go stop drinking water, chugging it, and it's like you gotta stop drinking water too much. Like, no, I gotta keep drinking water for this. And they, well, no, you can't. I gotta keep drinking water for this. And then maybe after a while, they feel almost vomited from drinking so much water. They go and not drink water for a while. Maybe back there chugging water for this. Eventually, they might pass out and require emergency care. And they're gonna be like, "Hey, I need some water. Hey, I need some water." They're gonna be compulsively not able to control this urge, and not gonna have self-awareness. Like I'm crazy right now, and other people can see that I'm crazy because I'm being compulsive, like obsessively asking for water or something like this. Just and it's like just act normal. So I'm on a schedule where it's like I only drink a glass of water every 3 hours or something like this. No. No, because if they're really mentally ill with that problem, they can't stop themselves from stuff. And they lack self-awareness. So somebody, I believe that somebody who's really mentally ill to a point where they might need to be confined to a psych ward, they have an inability to be able to pretend to not be mentally ill, I believe. Okay. People can fake, like for example, there's quite a lot of people that have like a functional depression. Okay. Where it's like they're in a depressed state, they have an inability to really have joy about things. It's hard for them to feel good about things. They kind of low energy, but it's like they work in McDonald's or in a bank or something like this, and it's like they like smile at every customer, and they smile at the boss, and they kind of keeping up the appearances of not being. And then when they come home, they might get themselves drunk, drink themselves to pieces, or like sit and sob, or like or something like this. It's like I hate my life, so this, but it's like they keep it together and kind of like acting normal. Now that's a mild thing, contrast to other mental illnesses. Okay, and that person is not like mental ill to the point that has like mild depression, where they need to be locked up. Okay, and a person like that might be able to be, well, I can kind of not show my mental illness and kind of not my depression and kind of not kind of hide that I feel kind of sad or something like this. But like if it's something that's like extreme and acute, like the people are schizophrenics, they end up in a cycle because they ran out in the supermarket punching people, stuff like this. And it's like this cops are worried because these people are demons or stuff like this. Or like they're reptilians, they're shapeshifters, stuff like this. Okay. They're not gonna be able to be I'll sit down and be like be normal after that. But they understand they throws mental illness. So that's the point. All that to say this. If it's possible now as a hypothetical, I have to get into it. I'm saying I'm not mentally ill. So I didn't have to like, try to play or say it. I had to just be myself and focus on responding to my current circumstances accurately. So now here's the point too. Since I'm not a fool, So I didn't have this journey to try to lie my way out of it. But I've been, as usual, honest as best possible, be as honest as possible. Now, honesty is not like, well, that means if you're committed to being an honest person, it's like you have to answer every question truthfully. You understand? If I walked down the street and called, hey, Mike, did you ever break the law? Yes. How many times? More than once. When was the last time? This date, at this place, in this way. They're not, you're a fool, okay? Like most people broke the law. If a cop will stop that person, they're gonna have speed in bounds which break the law. They're gonna be like 3 miles over the speed limit for this. They're gonna have maybe driven drunk once or something like this. So my point is this: being a person that's committed to honesty and dedicating themselves daily into it doesn't mean someone comes into my chat and asks to call them underwear. They say, "Oh, I'm an honest person. I'm committed to that. I have to tell them what to call my underwear is, or something like this. How long since you took a shower? What's your deepest, darkest?" Do you understand? This is not something that you have to. That's not like, well, if you're not up to that, that means you're not honest. So there's a reasonable. Okay. So, um, not okay. So, on the topic of cycle. When I was in there before being released. I wasn't like having to fake being not crazy because I'm not crazy, okay? So my unhinged behavior, which sounds like I'm agreeing, well, at times my behavior might have appeared to be unhinged if you look at my videos, like some of my videos and some else. Well, possibly to some extent that's influenced by like sleep deprivation, have been harassed recently and reacted to things that you're not seeing. Okay. You're being abused daily, harassed, bullied, targeted narcissistic abuse. And it's like it's gonna get to you and you're gonna react to it. Here's another thing. Energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed. Land is energy. Rör is energy. It's different for energy. Energy in motion. Energy that's like stored in a spring or something. Here's the point. With the target, have your self-awareness enough, being introspective and extrospective. Looking in, looking out, and being honest. It's impossible to have a full year being tolerant without losing it, okay, once at least. So, with the tolerant is being told narcissistic abuse for many years, and people are provoking me and telling me in despicable ways. And I've been able to, a lot of times in the moment, be non reactive and kind of don't react to it. But it's like it keeps adding up. So it's like after a month abuse, it's gonna bubble to the surface eventually, and it can be a trigger like well, you have low sleep, a lot of stress, you got a lot of inflammation, something like this, and now there can be things from before that kind of come to the surface, and like suddenly it's bothering a lot. So here's the point that you will stay with. Here's the point. When I was in the psych ward, I didn't have to try to pretend being sane. To be precise, have I been besides myself? Yeah, from the talking. That doesn't mean that I'm crazy. I dealt with this better than most people would. So, Viktor Frankl I quoted, insanity is a perfectly like normal response to insane circumstances like this. So, here's the point. And those that seem to be danced taught by same brother could not hear the music. The people that can't hear the narcissistic dog was abuse music and they see you dancing to like reacting to it. They might think you're crazy. That's the point. Yeah, so basically, yeah, I've lost my temper and ranted angrily in response to being told all the time. Okay. And no, that's not being crazy. What I've been saying is true. I haven't been like, so that's not mental illness. That's being irate and worked up about being abused. Okay. which is a normal response. See, and if not, you dehumanize the person. If you expect the person to be abused daily without being affected by it. See, okay. So, anyways, the point. Um, my policy was to be honest, and in this bit, how was I dealing with this question? I was praying to God, reading the Bible in my mind, meditating on it, and just mind my business, being wise as serpents, harmless as love. And they probably had hope the program I would be in there, like crying and panicking. Oh, God, kill me! So not none of that. I had peace in there, and okay, they probably hoped there'd be like a big thing. So anyway, I support. And I think I won't be surprised if some people hope that I'll get shot by the SWAT team as they showed up here. And some of the things, whatever, where it's like, here's another inconsistency, untruth in my records I looked at. I demanded the files, uh, FOIA request, Swedish equivalent, from the day I got put in psych ward. And just like, if I look at my medical records, where I can see what people have said to the psych ward and stuff like this. And if I look at the police reports, like logs about the day that I got taken by psych ward, there's so much bullcrap lies in there, like untruths. Okay. And the things are not true. It's like would match when I paint me as something that I'm not. Okay. See, like for example, like I said, I got my freedom taken from me. Okay. And that affected me severely as a trauma. And if I look at part of what was used to justify this, it's a lot of lies, and it looks like malicious intent to me, like someone was trying to get me in a cycle. And then generally inconsistencies and inaccuracy, which hurts their credibility. It shows they're a person that has a pattern of behavior of not being able to be accurate and honest about me, see, and like painting me as worse than I am, essentially. And it, like things like more neutral, like facts, it just shows. So basically, if I go to the police, I go, I'm reporting my ex-girlfriend, she raped me or something like this at knife point. And it's like she had red hair and the knife was a sword or something like this. But it's like in reality she had blue hair and she had a small knife at the time that was known to have or something like this. Do you understand? It's like you're hurting your credibility, your testimony. Like you look like you're lying and making things up. Like trying to make the person look more dangerous than they are. So anyway, support. Somewhat these people have said about me in the psych ward is they were worried about me and I'm dangerous and that they're worried about me. And I've been seen to be shooting an air rifle at a teddy bear. Okay. That sounds like you're trying to paint somebody as really wicked, but I don't have any memory of ever shooting at a teddy bear. And if it was, when did you see it? I never shot air guns when LSS step went here, the caregiving stuff. So it had to be on a YouTube video if it happened. So I how it's know. So here's the thing. I've never had an air rifle inside this home. I've only had air guns. Okay. So air rifle and air gun pistol is a big difference. So like she was shooting an air rifle at a teddy bear. Okay. Now I've shot targets, paper targets. I've shot cans. I've shot like random stuff, objects incidents. But I don't remember ever shooting a teddy bear. Okay. And for sure never shot anything with an air rifle in here. Because I never had an air rifle in here. So that's something that's like a detail where clearly it's like, oh, they're not being accurate in what they're saying about me. See, an air rifle is a bigger, more dangerous thing than an air gun. So, another thing, which I'd be interested to know who's lied about this, but in the police reports, where it's like leading up to them almost breaching, but I gave myself over before the breach. It's like he's wearing sunglasses and a jacket to protect himself from pepper spray and tasers. That's very interesting. So that's what you're saying, huh? That's not like weird thing. He is wearing a jacket and sunglasses to protect himself against pepper spray and tasers. What do you base that on? Can you prove that? Can that be proven? That's like if people watch my videos, I've talked about I have autism and sensitivities. Okay, that's why I wear sunglasses, not to protect myself from. And I'm starting to get mad now. Okay, that's the point. So that's a note in there. It's like he wears a jacket and sunglasses to protect himself from pepper spray and tasers. What is that based on? That's not the truth. The reason I wear sunglasses is not to protect myself from uh, pepper spray. And the reason I overdress is not to protect myself from tasers. Okay. So that's another thing, as if they're trying to paint me as if possibly somebody wants to get me shot by the SWAT team, as if they write things like that. To paint me as a person that's like non-lethal weapons won't take on him possibly, see. To get the cops more likely to use lethal weapons if they're opening the door to breach. Another thing is he has this long list of weapons in the hallway, which is not true. So it looks like somebody trying to make me get shot by the cops, kind of. Where it's like, so if they breach, the person has weapons in the hallway right beside the door, they're saying. And he's wearing things to make non-lethal weapons not effective. And that's why he's wearing them for that purpose. Things like this. Things like this. Whereas my spear was in my bedroom. The spike club is in the bedroom, behind the door, not in the hallway. See? So it's like very interesting stuff in there. Um, Another lie is they have been refusing to let caregivers come here. No, they were the ones that didn't show up. Another inconsistency, they wrote that I have the caregivers come help me every day, which is not the truth. So I guess if you try to paint it as if you try to paint it as if there's been like that would also fit with it's like something there. He gets caregivers every day coming to him. No, no, no. At that point, it'd be like once every 2 weeks or something like this, or once a week, not every day. I guess you try to paint as he's been refusing to. Now, here's the thing. If this was like legit, why did the caregiving staff contact me and be like, we're worried about your mental health or something like this? If it was just about getting me shot by the SWAT team or putting me in a psych ward, okay. Why didn't the psych ward reach out to me and be like, hey, Mike, we're concerned about your mental health? Why did I get a call asking me how I'm doing? Why didn't I have an email, somebody asked what I'm doing? Why is it that I'm expected to have the caregiving staff complete with me? And suddenly I'm shocked by having this SWAT team outside and I need to hand myself over. Okay. It's like because they've been worried about you, they'll assess that. They've been worried, huh? Why haven't I heard anything about we're worried about you? Or a call or something like this. It's like there's so many things regarding this. And there's so many inconsistencies and like outright false reports and false stuff in there. In what I have access to is what people said about me. And the caregiving staff were being doing all kinds of things to make me feel provoked, in my view.
I would not put it like they'd be surprised. You think I gotta be scared of talking about this? It's like, oh, I'm burnt now, like a burnt child. I'm gonna be no, 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 no. So here's what I got to say: the caregiving staff that made the reports that I'm crazy and this and they need to go to the psych ward and left a lot of untrue reports in writing that led to me getting my freedom taken from me. Okay, apprehended. Um, I would not be surprised if they were government gang stalking flying monkey agents, and that's why I felt as if they were trying to push my buttons and provoke me and do things that look a lot like narcissistic dog abuse tactics to me. Okay, for months and months and months and months and months leading up to this. I also had a Swedish police officer, some kind of befäl, what it was, threatened me in a restaurant once, and I obtained the video evidence of this. Threatened me to open a criminal investigation on me for like financial crimes based off of seeing me eat in a restaurant this one time. Okay. This type of stuff I gotta be told we do. I go to a restaurant like once a month before I stop doing it. I just like being harassed. And it's like risky ball, the food posting, somebody can walk past the table, put a pot over the food for us. So I was at a restaurant once, and this cars walking, and eventually the car comes up to me. They didn't like being filmed, I guess he knows it's legal. They tried to bully me to turn off my live stream. And I didn't submit them because it's an unlawful command. I don't have to turn off the camera. It's legal to film. And then he starts by trying to bully me. And eventually, so this is the thing. Now it looks retaliatory too, like police intimidation. They were sent to intimidate, like vendors, take vendors. What happened at Leipzig? I do a live stream on Torn video. I walked past the Swedish government office at police station. I go, this is a corrupt Swedish police headquarters. Commentary. Just like if I pass the Swedish church, I go, here's the radical Swedish church. They got a cross on there, but unfortunately they're heretics. They're female priests, infant Baptists, it's like honest commentary. So I walked past the government office on the way downtown Arrel Stream to go to restaurant, past the police station, government office. I go, yeah, this is a corrupt Swedish police okay, headquarters, or like a station, police station. I go about my way. I end up in the final destination where I was intending to go, the Asian Fair restaurant Long. And I sit down and I still live stream doing Arrel Stream. And I see four cops walking, police walking. And I turn the camera and go, there's some cops just walking. Notice how it looks like it could be retaliation for like criticizing them publicly. See, it looks like it could be retaliatory in nature. So they show up for them. And I turn my camera and go, this is some cops walking. Okay. And then one of the cops come over. He goes, what I stop him to tell me to stop him. I can go back and look at the videos, but I can't go from memories and paraphrase. That it indicated he wants to stop filming. And as usual, this happens several times. I inform him I'm well within my rights to film. Okay, it's not illegal to film. It's legal for me to film in public. Also, but maybe I don't like being filmed or something like this. Like now, his job is not to enforce his emotions. Okay, like he's about the law. His job is to enforce Swedish law. Okay. So I said, maybe I don't like it. And I go, well, I don't give a crap. Like, okay, there was a custody. I don't give a crap or shit or whatever. I don't give a crap. The issue is what the law is, not what you feel or something like this. And they didn't like that. Someone standing up there saying no. Okay, and this has happened several times. So it's like this. I had enough. It's like the third time it happens that a cop shows up from outside, and the first thing they tell me to do is to turn off my live stream, which is legal. It's legal for me. So it's like them telling me, give me 10 push-ups. It's the same thing. Okay. Or do you understand? It's something they don't have the right to demand, but they're trying to trick me into feeling like, or trying to get me to do it. Okay. It's kind of like cops can do sometimes in America. Is in bar cafe. So would you mind if I look in your vehicle? They don't have a search warrant for a car. They don't have probable cause. So try to get you to consent to a search of your vehicle. See, and it might not be illegal. They can ask like, I'd like to check your car for this. Now, in Sweden, they can do like, why don't you turn it off right now? Go ahead and turn that off soon, okay? But it is they can't force me to. It's legal for me to live stream in the way that I'm doing when they show up. But they tell me to turn it off, like asking me, okay, quote unquote. And I go, no, it's legal for me to film. It's not illegal to film, okay? I'm not breaking the law. And they might go, well, okay, yeah, that's true. Okay, but they tried, see. So, anyway, the point. Yeah, so this cop shows up, sees me film, and I'm sitting in there filming myself and around the restaurant. He approaches me and begins an engagement. So he shows up to tell me to turn that off. I tell him that it's not illegal, and he go, "But maybe I don't like being filmed." He said, "I don't care, expletive. I don't give a crap. Okay, it's legal for me to film." And then he doesn't like that. So now he goes into bully tyrant mode, you might call it. Okay, if you look at the behavior. So now he sits down at my table to pressure me, put me in a hot seat. To say. So he sits down at the other table, at the end of the table, see, and he's sitting there. And it's a guy with a gun, see. Okay, so sitting down there. I said, oh, okay. I have stood up for my legal rights as a Swedish citizen to live stream in public. He tells me to stop using my right to film in public, which is he doesn't have the right to. And since I don't give in to it, because I know it's legal for me to film, now he's going to try to use bully intimidation tactics to cause psychological distress and make me feel stressed to kind of punish me for not giving me what I wanted. Okej. Han och Adidas krigar två sidor på samma mynt kan man säga. Som någon skrev till mig på TikTok så kanske var polis eller något. Efter jag kommenterat på en video om någon som hade tappat ett tjänstevapen på ICA. Det här är inkompetent eller något. Så jag, ja, och så kommer någon liten bot och börjar attackera mig där. Så, du var Adidas krigar bara två sidor på samma mynt. Well, basically, so there's not that much difference. So that guy gets the appearance of a guy who he just feels like he's above the law and can do what he wants to do. Okay, he doesn't care about it or whatever. So he's like a bully. Okay, sits down. I tell him he comes to my table because I'm live streaming. Gives me trouble for using my legal right to film. And then goes, then turn it off. No, I don't have this legal to film. But maybe I don't like being filmed. Now his job is not to enforce his feelings, utan Sveriges rikes lag, grundlag. His job is to enforce the law, the land. Which means really, if there was somebody that was like, hey, why don't you turn it off? His job would be like, no, he's got the right to film, leave him alone. See, that would be his job, see, really. Okay. Not be like, oh, this guy's used his citizenship rights to live stream in public. I don't like it. I'm gonna try to get him to stop doing it and use every tool in my arsenal. So if that put the pressure on him, make him feel bad, give him stress, hoping he will okay. And if that doesn't work, I'll abuse of power, maktmissbruk. I'll threaten to start a criminal investigation on him for financial crimes. Okay. So like anything like, oh, what could I, oh, this guy's saying no to me. I don't like that. Say possibly narcissistic psychopaths. I wouldn't be surprised. A lot of those types uh, are drawn to these professions where they can have power over people. So it's a point. And engage in antisocial behavior with decreased consequences contrasted based on population. So certain professions attract more narcissists and psychopaths and antisocial people than others. Politicians, uh, people in the military, some extent police officers. So I suppose. Yeah, so he sits down at my table at the other side and like starts asking me questions, like interrogating me now. So who are you? You live in the city? Blah, 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 okay. As he says. I go, yeah, I live in the city. I said, what's the name? Well, I don't have to give you this. Unless it's like, am I suspected of a crime? I think he said no. I said, well, I don't have to tell you this. But it's like, I can volunteer some stuff. So my name is Michael, I live in the city, yeah. Okay. He says, so what do you do for a living? I'm on disability. Okay. They go, oh, maybe I'll open an investigation, charge you with financial crimes, open an investigation of financial crimes, finansbrott. I go, what? Based off of what? But he not just trying to use his power to put the pressure on, make me feel afraid of some negative consequence that may or may not come because I stood up for my rights as a citizen. And I've dealt with this many times, cops showing up and putting the pressure on, make me feel arrest and trying to get me to stop using my legal rights that I have as a citizen, like film in public. Okay. So basically it goes to first is trying to sit down and I guess to put the pressure on me, sit across the table. And such as the questions fishy. And I go, eventually I tell him my name and stuff, live in the city. And he's like, what do you do for a living? I go, well, yeah, I'm a disability. Oh, but you're eating in a restaurant. Maybe I open a financial crimes investigation on it, which is completely ridiculous. So, based off of what? See? It's like, based off of what? Uh, Disability is not rich, but it's not so little money that you can't eat at a restaurant one time or more. Okay. So it's not that it's like the contest that show up with a gold chain this sick and park a Ferrari outside and like have Louis Vuitton and Gucci everything. And then sit down and eat it, like make it rain and like throw tip money around and stuff like this. And it's like he asked, but why do you work with it? I want disability or something like this, food stamps or this. It'd be like, oh, okay, where I'll get this money or something like this. But I support, it's like he, based off of him seeing me this one time in a restaurant at the buffet, there was, I think, $12 for a 4 hour all you can eat buffet, which is like once a month maybe. I would do that. Okay. It's like, but disability. Yeah, disability is now $5 a month. Okay. Sjukskriven. So I'd say most people that have disability get at least $1,000 a month. Okay. And that's enough so you can eat at a restaurant maybe once a month, depending on what you eat. So it's ready to start a criminal investigation on it. But there's type of stuff I got from the Swedish cops. So they will say they won't do. No, no. I saw a clip. They won't report. No, I've had them approach me several times. It was like they act like they looking for me. I'm live streaming. Get the word out. What is the context? Marcha live told video. The government doesn't want to worry about gangs och terrorister gap. If it does get out, they want some question about that. So I get the word out visible by government to me. Conspiracy. Doing activism visible. And it looks like the government's trying to interference with that activity. Which is like giving credibility to what I'm saying. It would be congruent with me being true. Like the government doesn't want people to hear about this. I'm live streaming about this all the time, getting the word out, making people hear about it. And they're acting just as if they're a government that don't want people to hear about this. This IRL streamer told the video goes live, getting the word out. See, every time it goes live, he's getting the word out. Told the video Mike's live. And then like the script, I used to have like a copy paste the script for Chuck Laverick's website. Like a quote: "The government doesn't want the word about gang terrorists to get out, but if it does get out, it won't sound crazy on earthly." And I get it now, but I'll make sound crazy on earthly. So I'm living in Sweden. The Swedish government is involved in gang stalking tornado videos, and I'm working to resist it, and they don't want people to hear about it. So me not sitting at home just being mad about the Tara by making videos as part of my daily life and getting bored by Kingstalk. I'm gonna ta en video. Not hiding in the corner, but I'm out here. I'm gonna ta en video. This is called Kingstalk ta videos. That is something that can be problematic. That it has potential to start waking people up to this conspiracy. And what we have when I'm doing that, go live stream, RL stream as told me though. Oh, there's a police car show up and like do a U-turn, just pull me over there. Hey, what are you doing? So and that's happened several times. It's like I'm outside walking and they have police cars just go around me. Like it's like the drive on the road. And I'm walking live stream. Do U-turn? Come, hey, want to talk to you? I'm like, am I Spectre Crowd? No. Okay, I'm live right now. To go, a lot has to go turn off the camera. Somebody I go, I don't have this legal to film. And then they try it like a bluff. No, because I guess sometimes they do that. It's like a lot of Swedes be like fooled and be scared and feel like they gotta do it because I got told. They will grow up like, okay, I'm turned off. Somebody possibly like 25 to 50% of the time if they try to attack you, some people like, hey, turn it off for this. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry for this. That's the point. So when a police officer came to take my God-given freedom from me, without charging me with a crime, put him in a cycle. They didn't send one police officer to fight me in Muay Thai rules here, and then the winner goes free and the other one goes to the cycle. No, they sent 6 men as SWAT team. Okay, and they had okay, so it's like 6 men with guns, and I'm one man without firearms. Okay, so me deciding not to like me deciding to like go just peacefully is just like yeah it's like what I want to do. So now I do believe at the hypothetical scenario that somebody like me or somebody else similar to me, if they were hell bent on hurting cops if they came together, even if it was a SWAT team with a ballistic shield and like a window breach suddenly and flashbang, breach bang clear, like okay, that they could succeed in hurting the police if they wanted to. Now, if there's a lack of will, then there's no hurt. There's no chance. Now, here's the point. We're not getting hypothetical. What I'm trying to get across is this. It's like they didn't come with like one cop and be like, hey, Mike, you and me are fighting right now. And if you win, no. It's like 6 men with guns versus 1 man without guns. Okay. So, what we're going to do, okay, yeah, I'll fight with my fists against your pistols. And what is this? It's like if people like Mike wanted to fight him, like a tough guy would or something, this is like, come on. So, it's like, what is the point? I didn't have a desire really. So, here's the thing. But yeah, I'm also on top of that. Been threatened by a police officer once after being harassed for 30 minutes. Okay. And it culminated with the person communicating a veiled threat to me. Happened where I usually it shows up to a female police officer start hassling me and uh, work to stress me out and pressure me. Um, it's like I didn't like take cognizance. That's the point. They call for backup. There's a van shows up with a male police officer. And he walks out and is strutting around there. And eventually he's like, am I suspect of a crime? He's like, okay. It held me up for like 30 minutes. Around 30 minutes. It's like, yeah, it's not going to be that fun for you next time you get pulled over by us. Or something like this. Which I interpret as a veiled threat. There's like possibly actual bond home or something like this. It's not going to be that fun for you or pleasant. It's not going to be that pleasant the next time you encounter us. It's like they talk about police, okay? So I interpret as a veiled threat. This is years back. So yeah, I've had a lot of interesting circumstances with the Swedish police. I've been targeted with state persecution. Now, interesting. I think it takes courage to be one man alone in a restaurant and say no to a man with a firearm, flanked by three guys on his team, so four people with guns. Okay, and he's working to bully you, and you say no. I think that takes courage. I don't have a pistol on me. To say no to four bullies with guns, that takes courage. I don't think it takes courage to be four people with guns picking on one lone person in a restaurant. Okay, I don't think that takes courage. I think it takes courage to say no to four people with guns. Okay, that takes courage. That shows courage. Proves courage. I don't think it looks very noble or courageous or honorable to be like four people against pick one person who's not breaking the law. Okay. So, anyway, what else? Yeah, anyway, I'm a target of state prosecution. Grabben kan ta kontroll då. Yeah, so it's like I'm not very likely. So they sent the SWAT team here to get me because I'm a total state persecution. They had planned it for a long time. Yeah, so this might not be over. They might have plans to get me in the psych ward again. No, maybe it'd be better if I got charged with a crime. It was a court case because at least then they had to prove my guilt to a legal standard, and I will have like a lawyer, and everything that they said is being written down and recorded to legal levels. Instead of, I've thought about this before. I don't think that they would like to have a court case involve me. If there was, they most likely put like a classified sample or something like this. But I suppose I don't think they won a court case. I thought about this before, and I thought the Swedish state, they most likely don't want it to culminate into a court case. They would much prefer to get me off silent into a psych ward and then get rid of me in there somehow, or some other way. Out of all these potential things, they would prefer not to have a court case, I think. Why? It would be better if they can get me in a cycle from their perspective. And just get rid of me in there. Because if there's a court case, like everything you say becomes part of public record. Okay. Everything you say becomes part of public record. And it's like this forum boards in Sweden. They're like dedicated. They have whole branches to this. Aktuella brott och kriminalfall och sånt. Things like this. Where people are posting FUPs, förundersökningsprotokoll. So it's like, it doesn't have to be a C-level trial for people to be interested in court case in Sweden. It can be like anything. It's like guy arrested for X, okay? See, it's like autistic guy says, the other side is like goes to court, or like guy arrested by this for this or something like this. It's like basically it's something that can become talked about, and they want a lot of things to be as covert as possible in this with the talk. They want this to be covered up. They want people to hear about King Soccer videos. So anyway, that's the point. Yeah, I'm a total state persecution, and I don't be surprised if I talk more about this in the future. Boom, 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 boom. That's gonna be on the live stream.